Hear me now, chosen one. There is a prayer you used to pray. You prayed it with your whole chest once. You prayed it in the car with the radio off. You prayed it standing at the kitchen sink with your hands still wet, whispering it so no one else would hear. And then one day, quietly, without telling anyone, you stopped. You didn't announce it. You didn't make a decision on paper. You just got tired. Tired of asking for the same thing and watching nothing move. Tired of hoping and then having to survive the disappointment all over again. So you folded that prayer up small and put it somewhere in the back of your heart where you wouldn't have to keep looking at it. And you told yourself it was fine. You told yourself maybe it just wasn't meant for you. I need you to hear me. That is not the end of the story. That is the middle. And you have walked away from a room right before the door was about to open. Let me tell you something about the way heaven works. The silence you have been living in was never the same thing as a no. You heard nothing, and your heart translated that nothing into rejection, because that is what pain does. Pain is a bad translator. It takes God's patience and reads it back to you as God's absence. But absence and patience do not look the same from where God is standing. From up there, chosen one, that prayer of yours never fell to the floor. Not one word of it. Think about it. How many nights did you lie awake replaying the same request, feeling like you were talking into an empty room? How many times did you watch someone else receive the very thing you had been asking for, and you smiled for them while something inside you quietly broke? How many times did you tell yourself, this is childish, I should stop, I should be grateful for what I have, and stop asking? You wake up some mornings already tired, carrying a weight you can't name, and part of that weight is this old prayer you never buried properly. It is still alive in you. That is not weakness. That is a sign. Because here is the truth that the enemy did not want you to sit down and hear today. The prayer you gave up on is being answered right now. Right now. While you are listening to this. Behind a door you cannot see, in a room you were never invited into, the answer you stopped expecting is being assembled. It is not stuck. It is not lost. It did not get filed under the wrong name. It is moving, and you almost missed the moment. You almost let go 3 feet from the finish line. That is why you found this. That is why, out of everything you could have been doing right now, you are here, with these words landing on the exact bruise you have been protecting. That is not an accident. Nothing about this is an accident. You were led here. So before you get up and go back to pretending that prayer doesn't still ache in you, I am asking you to do one thing. Stay with me. Don't walk out of this room. Because for the next little while I am going to show you what has actually been happening in the silence. I am going to show you why it was delayed, what it was protecting you from, and what God has been quietly building in you the whole time you thought he was doing nothing. If you have been waiting on an answer for so long you almost stopped believing one was coming, type 777 in the comments right now. Let heaven hear you say it out loud one more time. I am still here. I am still waiting. And I am not letting go yet. Because that answer, chosen one, is closer than the silence ever let you believe. And I want to show you exactly how close. Let me tell you what the silence really was, because you have been reading it wrong this whole time, and that wrong reading has cost you more sleep than you know. You thought silence meant no. You thought when heaven went quiet, it was heaven turning its back. But silence in the kingdom of God is not the sound of a door closing. It is the sound of a door being built. and you cannot build a door quietly and swing it open loudly at the same time. There is a season where God works without noise on purpose, so that what he is making does not get disturbed before it is ready. This is not silence, this is assembly. Hear the difference. This is not the absence of an answer. This is the answer being put together piece by piece in a place your eyes were never meant to reach yet. You have been standing outside a workshop, pressing your ear to the wall, and because you heard nothing, you assumed nothing was happening in there. But the quietest rooms in your life have often been the busiest rooms in heaven. Think of it like this. A letter can be written, signed, sealed, and already in the hands of the one carrying it, and you can still be sitting at home, convinced no one ever wrote you back. The delivery has not failed, you just have not heard the knock yet. Your answer has a departure date and an arrival date, and the gap between them is not rejection. The gap is the road. The gap is the distance the answer has to travel to reach a version of you that can actually hold it. And that is the part you keep missing. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. Those are two completely different things. But from inside the waiting they feel identical, so the enemy blurs them together and hands you the wrong one. He whispers, God forgot you. God has favorites, and you are not one of them. Everyone else gets their yes, and you get to keep asking. That voice is a liar, and I want you to catch it in the act today. Because look at what actually happened. You did not lose your faith all at once. It leaked out slowly, one unanswered morning at a time, until one day you realized you had stopped expecting anything. That slow leak was not you being faithless. That was you being human. God is not angry at you for getting tired. Elijah got tired. He sat down under a broom tree and asked to die, and God did not scold him. God fed him and let him sleep. So if you sat down under your own tree and stopped praying, hear me, you are in good company, and heaven did not hold it against you. But here is what I need you to understand. Your tiredness never cancelled the request. A prayer does not expire the day you stop feeling it. You planted something the first time you asked, and seeds do not stop growing just because the farmer looks away. All those months you thought the ground was dead, roots were spreading underneath where you could not see. The harvest was forming in the dark. That is where harvests always form. In the dark, underground, before the world ever sees a single green thing break the surface. So stop measuring what God is doing by what your eyes can confirm. Your eyes are the last to know. Faith sees the answer before the evidence arrives, and evidence is exactly what has been missing. And its absence is exactly what wore you down. But absence of evidence was never absence of movement. The answer moved the day you first asked, and it has not stopped since. It kept moving through every night you cried. It kept moving through every morning you woke up sure nothing had changed. It kept moving through the season you gave up on it entirely. It did not need your belief to keep moving. It only needs your belief now at the end, so that you are still standing here when it arrives instead of already gone. That is why the delay was never the enemy you thought it was. In fact, the delay has been protecting you from something. And once you see what it saved you from, you will stop resenting the wait. You might even thank God for it. Let me show you. Now I have to tell you something that might sting a little before it heals. Some of your prayers were delayed because the answer, arriving too soon, would have destroyed you. Sit with that. It is one of the hardest truths in the whole kingdom, and almost nobody says it out loud. You have been treating the delay like a punishment, like God was withholding good from you because you had not earned it, or prayed hard enough, or been faithful enough. But what if the delay was not a wall keeping you out? What if the delay was a hand holding you back from walking off a cliff you could not see? This is why it did not come the year you begged for it. This is why the door you pounded on stayed shut, no matter how hard you knocked. You thought God was not listening. God was listening so closely that he heard the thing you did not. He heard what was waiting on the other side of that door, and he loved you too much to let you open it. Think back. Think about the thing you wanted so badly 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that you cried when it did not happen. The relationship that went quiet before it ever became anything. The opportunity that slipped through your fingers at the last second. The move, the job, the answer that felt like your whole future, and when it fell through, it felt like the sky came down with it. You grieved it. You asked God why he would dangle it, and then take it away. But look at where that road actually led for the people who did walk through it. Look at what happened to the ones who got the version of that thing you were denied. Sometimes the greatest mercy God ever shows you looks exactly like a closed door in the moment. You wanted the yes so badly you never stopped to ask what the yes would have cost you. Because not everything you prayed for was pure. I am not condemning you. I am telling you the truth so it can set you free. Sometimes we pray for a person who would have wounded us. We pray for a door that opens into a room full of thieves. We pray for a shortcut that skips the very training we needed to survive the destination. And a good father does not hand a child something sharp just because the child is screaming for it. So he waited. He let the timing pass. He let you cry because he knew the crying was survivable and the yes might not have been. And every rejection you soaked with tears was actually a rescue you did not have the eyes to recognize. Every no was a wall built between you and something that came dressed as a blessing but was carrying a knife. Hear me now. Not every open door is from God, and not every closed door is from the enemy. You have had it backwards. You have been thanking God for the doors that opened and blaming him for the ones that closed, when some of those closed doors were the loudest way he ever said, "I love you, and I will not let this touch you." There were prayers of yours that, if answered on your schedule, would have chained you to the wrong life for the next 20 years. You would have gotten exactly what you asked for and spent decades trying to escape it. God saw those 20 years in a single second. You only saw the moment, and in the mercy of the delay, he rewrote a future you never even knew was in danger. So when you lie awake and ask, "Why is it taking so long?" add one more question to it. Ask, "God, what are you keeping away from me while I wait?" Because the delay is not only building the answer, it is also filtering it. It is straining out everything harmful, everything premature, everything that came attached to a hidden cost, so that when the answer finally reaches your hands, it arrives clean. It arrives without the trap. You are not behind, chosen one. You are being protected in real time by a God who can see the road you cannot. And the same delay that has been guarding you from the wrong thing has been doing something else the whole time too. Quietly, inside of you, it has been building something. Let me show you what. While you were waiting, you thought nothing was happening to you. But something was happening in you. And it was the most important part of the whole story. Let me take you to a woman named Hannah. She wanted one thing, a child. That was her whole prayer. and it went unanswered year after year while the woman living in the same house had baby after baby and never let Hannah forget it. Hannah prayed so hard in the temple, with her lips moving and no sound coming out, that the priest thought she was drunk. That is what waiting looks like from the outside. It looks like a woman falling apart. But heaven was not watching a woman fall apart. Heaven was watching a woman become the kind of mother who could raise a prophet. The delay was not empty. The delay was making her into the vessel the answer required. "Now come with me to a man named Daniel," he prayed, and then he waited 21 days and heard nothing. 21 days of silence. And do you know what an angel told him when the answer finally came? The angel said, "Your words were heard on the very first day." The very first day. The answer left the moment he prayed. But it was held up, delayed on the road, by a struggle Daniel could not see happening in the unseen realm. Read that again in your spirit. The silence he endured was not God ignoring him. It was a war being fought over his answer, in a place he had no access to on his behalf. So when you count the days you have been waiting, understand that the silence on your end does not measure the movement on heaven's end. Your answer may have left on the first day too. The road was just longer than your patience. And then there is Joseph, sold by his own brothers, thrown in a pit, sold again, lied about, thrown in a prison for a crime he never committed. Years went by. He had done nothing wrong, and everything went wrong anyway. But God was not punishing Joseph in that prison. God was training a ruler. Every unfair year in the dark was a year of preparation for a throne Joseph could not yet imagine. He could not see the palace from the prison. He only saw the walls, but the walls were the classroom. Do you see the pattern, chosen one? God almost never wastes the wait. He uses it. The waiting is not dead time, it is formation. It is the season where he grows the roots deep enough to hold the weight of the answer, because an answer that comes to a shallow person will crush them. So let me ask you the honest question. Are you the same person now that you were when you first started praying that prayer? You are not. The waiting changed you. It burned some things out of you. It taught you how to survive a night that felt like it would never end. It gave you a patience you did not have before, a compassion for other people who are hurting, a depth you never asked for but now carry. You thought the years were taking something from you. They were building something into you. This is why God stayed silent. Not because he was gone, because he was working, and the work was on you. He was making you into someone strong enough to hold what you asked for without dropping it. He was carving out room inside you for a blessing that is heavier than you realize. If it had come to the old you, the you from before all this, you would not have been able to carry it. But the you that survived the waiting can. The refining is almost done. The roots are deep now, and a God who spent this long preparing the vessel is not going to leave the vessel empty. He does not build a house and refuse to move into it. Everything he was building in you was building towards something. And that something is bigger than you ever prayed for. It reaches further than your own life. Let me show you just how far. Now I need to widen your eyes, because you have been praying for this thing as if it only touches you. It does not. It never did. When you prayed that prayer, you thought you were asking for something small and personal. Your answer, your breakthrough, your one thing. But heaven does not build a door for one person to walk through and then seals it behind them. When God answers a prayer over your life, he is not just blessing you. He is positioning you. He is turning you into a doorway that other people are going to walk through for years after. Think about who is downstream of your yes. Think about the people whose whole lives change the day yours does. There are people waiting on the other side of your breakthrough who do not even know your name yet. There is someone who will only believe God is real because they watched what He finally did for you. There is someone in your own family, maybe someone not even born yet, whose entire path bends because you did not give up in the dark. You were never praying for yourself alone. You were praying for a bloodline. This is why the enemy fought your answer so hard. This is why the delay felt like warfare, because it was. If your prayer only affected you, it would not have drawn that much resistance. You do not put armed guards around an empty room. The size of the opposition you have faced is a clue to the size of what is coming. They fought you this hard because your breakthrough sets other people free. Look at Joseph again. He suffered in that prison for years, but when the answer finally came, it did not just save Joseph, it saved a nation. It saved the very brothers who threw him in the pit. His personal breakthrough became the survival of thousands during a famine. His yes fed people who were not even born when he first started suffering. That is what a chosen one's answer does. It overflows. So the assignment on your life is deeper than your comfort. God is not just trying to make you happy. He is trying to make you a source. He wants to answer your prayer in a way that turns you into living proof, so that the next person who is about to give up looks at you and finds a reason to hold on one more day. Your testimony is somebody else's rescue. Your survival is somebody else's map out of the pit. That changes how you carry the waiting, doesn't it? You are not just enduring for your own sake. You are holding the door open for people who are still behind you in the line. And when you feel like quitting, remember, if you quit, the door does not just close on you. It closes on them. But you are not going to quit. You have come too far, and there is too much resting on your yes. So carry it like it matters, because it does. What God is about to do through you will outlive you. The answer to your prayer is a stone dropped in still water, and the ripples are going to reach shores you will never personally stand on. You prayed a small prayer. Heaven heard a generational one. If you believe your breakthrough is going to bless people far beyond you, if you believe your yes is somebody else's hope, type 444 in the comments right now. Speak it over your whole family line. My answer will not stop with me. And now that you can see how far this reaches, let me tell you the part your heart has been waiting the whole time to hear. Because this is no longer about the past. This is about what is moving toward you right now today, closer than you think. So let me bring you into the present, because this is where everything changes. Up to now I have been talking about the past, why it was delayed, what it protected you from, what it built in you. But I did not bring you here to give you a history lesson. I brought you here to tell you what is happening right now, while you are breathing, while these words are still in your ears. The season of silence is ending. You are standing at the seam between the old thing and the new thing, and you can feel it even if you cannot name it. There is a shift in the air over your life. You may have felt it in the last few weeks and dismissed it. A strange restlessness that is not quite anxiety, a sense that something is about to give. You keep bracing for more bad news, because that is what the long wait trained you to expect. But the thing coming toward you is not more of the same. Heaven has changed the direction of the wind, and you are just now feeling the first shift against your face. Watch for the small things first, because that is how the answer usually announces itself. It rarely kicks the door down. It knocks softly. A peace you have not felt in a long time settling over you for no reason. A name coming back to mind out of nowhere. A door you assumed was locked forever left slightly open. A phone that rings at the exact moment you needed it to. Do not despise these small signs. They are the footsteps of the answer approaching. The breakthrough sends scouts ahead of itself. Right now, while you are listening, things are being rearranged on your behalf. People are being moved. Circumstances that were stuck for years are quietly beginning to turn. Somewhere a decision is being made in your favor by someone who does not even know you prayed. That is how God works. He does not need you to see the machinery. He just needs you to keep standing here until it delivers. And I am not going to lie to you and promise you a specific outcome on a specific day, because I do not traffic in that. But I will tell you what I know. The God who kept this answer safe through every year of your waiting did not preserve it just to abandon it at the finish line. He does not carry a thing that far to drop it. What he starts, he completes. The one who began the good work in you is faithful to finish it. So the timing you have been fighting against is not random. It is precise. God is a God of appointed times, not our times, and there is a set moment for your answer that was written before you ever prayed. You cannot rush it, and thank God, because you also cannot miss it. It has your name on it. It is not going to the wrong address. When the fullness of the time comes, and it is coming, no delay, no enemy, no history of disappointment will be able to hold it back one more second. You have already survived the hardest part. The hardest part was not the waiting. The hardest part was the temptation to stop believing in the middle of the waiting. And here you are, still here, still listening, with a flicker of hope trying to come back to life in your chest right now. Do you feel that? That small warmth returning? That is not me talking you into something. That is your spirit recognizing that the answer is near. The dawn does not ask your permission to break. It just comes. And after a night this long, the light is going to feel almost too bright. But you are not going to run from it. You are going to walk into it with your hands open. So the only question left is how you carry yourself through these final steps. Because how you steward this last stretch matters more than you think. Let me give you exactly what to do while the answer finishes its journey to your door. So here is what to do while the answer finishes crossing the distance to your door. Not vague comfort, real things. Do these, and you will still be standing in the right place when it arrives. First, stop taking the prayer back. You have a habit you may not even notice. You pray, and then a week later, when nothing has changed, you quietly withdraw the request out of self-protection because it hurts less to expect nothing. Stop doing that. Every time you snatch the prayer back, you are digging up the seed to check if it is growing, and a seed you keep uprooting can never take hold. Pray it once more, and this time leave it in the ground. Let it be planted and walk away in peace. Second, write it down. Get something to write on and put the prayer in plain words with today's date beside it. Not because God needs the reminder, but because you do. There is coming a day when you will look back at that page and see how close you were to quitting right before it happened, and that record will build your faith for the next impossible thing. Keep the receipt of what you asked for. Third, watch for the small signs and thank God out loud for each one. When the little peace comes, say thank you. When the unexpected door cracks open, say thank you. Do not wait for the whole answer to arrive before you start giving thanks. Gratitude for the small confirmations is what pulls the larger answer forward. Praise is not the celebration after the victory. Praise is the posture that welcomes it in. Fourth, guard your mouth in this final stretch. This is not the season to sit around rehearsing every reason it will never happen. The words you speak over your own life are seeds too, and you have been planting weeds in the same soil where you are waiting for fruit. Catch yourself when you start to say, "It is never going to change. Nothing ever works out for me." Close your mouth on that sentence and refuse to finish it. Speak life over the very thing you have been mourning. Fifth, prepare a place for the answer before you can see it. This is what faith looks like with its sleeves rolled up. If you have been praying for a person, become the kind of person that person could walk beside. If you have been praying for a door, get your hand ready to turn the knob. Make room in your life for the thing you asked for, because how you prepare is how you prophesy. You do not wait for the rain and then go looking for buckets. You set the buckets out while the sky is still dry. Sixth, find one person and encourage them in the exact area where you yourself are still waiting. It will feel backwards. You will think, how can I give someone hope when I am running low myself? But that is precisely the key. When you pour courage into someone else's empty place, heaven refills yours, and often the refilling comes back heavier than what you gave away. The fastest way out of your own pit is to reach down and help someone out of theirs. And seventh, hold on through the final night. Because the darkest hour really is right before the dawn, and the enemy saves his loudest lie for the last mile. Right before the answer breaks through, the pressure to give up will spike higher than it has this whole time. That surge is not a sign you were wrong to hope. It is a sign you are close. Do not negotiate with that voice at the finish line, just outlast it. Stay one more day, then one more. The morning is not a maybe. It is a matter of when. Do those 7 things and you will be found faithful in the waiting. And there is a specific weight of glory reserved for the ones who did not let go in the dark. You have already carried the hardest part of this. You are not starting over. You are finishing. So let me speak one last thing over you before I let you go, because there is a blessing on your life that needs to be said out loud. So hear this blessing over you now, chosen one, because I am not going to let you leave this place the same way you came in. May the prayer you gave up on find you again. May it come back to you not as a wound but as a gift, wrapped in the exact timing that God protected all along. May every year you thought you wasted rise up and testify that it was never wasted at all. And may the silence you endured become the very testimony that sets someone else free. I speak strength over the tired place in you. I speak morning over the long night. I speak arrival over everything that has been delayed. Every tear you cried at 3 a.m, God kept in a bottle, and not one of them was for nothing. Every prayer you whispered when you thought no one heard, heaven wrote down, and not one of them was lost. Every year you waited, God was working, and not one of them was empty. You are not the forgotten one. You never were. You are the one heaven kept, the one heaven prepared, the one heaven is about to answer. The delay is ending. The wait is nearly over. And the God who brought you this far by faith is not going to abandon you in sight of the shore. So do not let go now. Do not put this prayer back in the drawer. Do not walk out of this room 3 steps from the answer. You have come too far, and you have survived too much, and there is too much good pressing toward you right now for you to quit in the final hour. Keep standing, keep believing, keep your hands open, because what is coming, and it has your name on it. If this reached the exact place you have been guarding, if you are ready to pick that prayer back up one more time and believe, type 777 in the comments as a seed of faith. Let it be your yes to heaven that you are still here and you are not giving up. And if these words gave you back even a little of the hope you had lost, do not keep them to yourself. There is another chosen one out there tonight, sitting in the same silence you were sitting in, with their finger hovering over a prayer they are about to abandon. Share this with them. Be the small sign that keeps them standing one more day. Subscribe and turn on the bell so the next word finds you when you need it, and pass this on to someone who needs to hear that their answer is closer than they think. Your morning is coming, chosen one. Keep your eyes on the horizon. The light is already on its way.